Love, 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 love. The gospel in one word is love. Love your neighbor as yourself. Love, love, love. Jesus tells us in the scriptures that love is the greatest commandment. Says the greatest commandment is to love God with all our heart and our soul and our strength, and to love our neighbor as ourselves. It's this beautiful trifold commandment in which we need all three parts: our love of God, our love of neighbor, and what is often the most difficult, the love of self. And the best way for me to describe this is with the image of the cross. In the cross, we have two lines. We have the vertical line and the horizontal line. And the vertical line can represent our relationship with God, our love of God. And that is often the most present for a lot of us. But then we have this horizontal line. The horizontal line is our relationship with others, with our neighbors, our love of our neighbor. And in order to have the cross, we need both of these lines present, our love of God and our love of neighbor. And what we often forget is where these two lines converge. If I were to stand up, you would see that vertical line from my head to my toes, and if I stretched my arms out wide, that's the relationship with others. And where these two lines converge is right here at heart center. That is my relationship with myself, my ability to love myself. And to fully have the image of the cross, I need all three: my love of God, my love of neighbor and creation, and my love of self. And often we forget one of those. And sometimes the hardest ones are to love ourselves or to love our neighbor. But there's a tool. When I was 13, a woman said to me in a workshop, "When you wake up every morning, look in the mirror and say, 'Good morning, Jesus.'" And at first, I thought she was crazy. But as I got older, I realized she was telling me something incredibly profound. She was telling me that God lives and breathes in me, and therefore also in you. In the beautiful musical Les Mis, John Valding sings this beautiful song, and he says, "To love another person is to see the face of God." And that is the tool. If you just take a moment and look into the eyes of another person, or to look in the mirror and just stare into your own eyes for a moment, you'll begin to see what lies beneath. And what lies beneath is God's everlasting love and presence. So when it gets hard to fulfill all aspects of that cross, to fulfill that commandment to love God and neighbor and self, just take a moment and look into someone's eyes or your own. And you'll begin to see the face of God. And that, my friends, is what it means to love. Amen.